What's up, guys? We are looking at a new deck profile for Crimson Invasion, and that is a Buzzwole GX deck. So without much ado, let's jump right into it. So let's have a look at the Pokemon line here. Our main attacker, Buzzwole GX, 190 HP Psychic weak Pokemon with two pretty good attacks and an average GX attack. First attack is for a single fighting energy Jet Punch, does 30 to the active and 30 to the bench. With a strong energy, you're doing 50 to the active, 30 to the bench. With a choice band, you are going to be doing 80, and with a fury belt, you are going to be doing 60. So this helps you take some decent numbers early on in the game and allows you to stack up damage on your opponent's side of the field throughout that game. So the idea here is you do decent damage to the active and you put pressure on the bench at the same time. And second attack for 3 fighting does 160, but you can't attack again. With the strong energy and modifiers is pretty decent, but we're mainly going to be using the single energy attack. And as our backup attacker is Zygarde EX. This is a grass weak instead of a fighting weak, a psychic weak Pokemon, and it's got 3 really good attacks. Lance Pulse for single energy does 20 plus 20 more if there's a stadium in play. We do play stadiums. We have Cell Storm for a fighting and a colorless, 60 and heal 30. And then for 2 fighting and a colorless, we do 100. So with all the modifiers like strong energy, choice bands, and fury belts, we can hit some really good numbers with this dude, and we cover the psychic weakness of Buzzwole GX at the same time. So another 190 HP beefy attacker to go with the main function of our deck, which is to use fighting Pokemon to put damage on our opponent's side of the field. Now, interesting to note he is an EX and not a GX, so you'll see why we play a few different cards in the deck as we go through. I've spoken a lot about strong energy. This is it. It adds 20 damage to your opponent's active. Then let's have a look here at one of the main strategies of the deck, and that is to devolve our opponent's Pokemon. So we're not taking massive numbers. We are aiming to stack damage and then use Miraculous Shine to devolve our opponent's Pokemon. This helps us in the matchups like Guardy, and it's really kind of a critical component to the deck. The other thing to remember is that we are going to struggle against decks that can stack up a lot of energy and start hitting big numbers, so we play a 3-2-1 line of Garbodor. And this Garbotoxin Garb is the real crux of what makes this work. Very similar to Landorus Garbodor back in the day, we block off our opponent's abilities by attaching a Floatstone to a Garbotoxin. And then late game we can swing with Garbodor Trash Launch, 20 times the amount of items in our opponent's discard pile. So he's a backup attacker, and he covers the psychic weakness of Buzzwole. So Buzzwole's weak to psychic, and because of that psychic weakness, we can use the Trash Launch Garb to hit our opponent's psychic Pokemon for weakness themselves. That's the idea here, and we'll see if it works. To make that work, we play 4 Rainbow Energy to use that Trash Launch attack that has a psychic energy requirement. Then we play 2 Lele for the Wonder Tag ability. We don't play double colorless, so using energy drive is difficult, but we can actually use the GX attack, Tapu Cure GX, because we play that Rainbow Energy. Then I spoke a bit about struggling against Guardy. That's why I played 2 Enhanced Hammers in here. Keeping the double colorless off is pretty critical. The rest of our items, we play 2 Field Blower. We play 1 Rescue Stretcher to get our dudes back into the deck. We play 4 Ultra Ball, pretty standard. We then play 3 Potown. This helps us in stacking up the damage every time our opponent evolves. We play 2 Acerola to pick up our damaged dudes and put them back in our hand. We play 4 Guzma, 3 N, 1 Fan Club, and this is in here because we play the Zygarde, which is an EX, so we need to be able to get that. And Bridget doesn't get 3 EXs and get 1 EX. So Fan Club better in this deck, I feel. For Professor Sycamore, for tools, we play 2 Choice Band for the 30 extra damage, and 3 Fury Belt, which are more important to hit that important number of 60 to our opponent's small basics. It also makes our 190 HP Pokemon pretty beefy at 230. We then play 4 Float Stones to activate the Garbatoxin, 4 Strong Energies. We play the 4 Rainbow Energies, and then 4 Basic Fighting. And that is the deck. So let's jump onto the Versus ladder, get ourselves a game, and see what we can do. Alright, we're up against what looks like a Guardy with Zoroark, just based on the typing. The Fairy and Fighting means Guardy and Gallade. And then Dark, a lot of Guardy lists have started to play a 2-2 Zoroark line as a means of drawing to replace artillery. And we have not a bad start. We are going first. We'll put the Trubbish up as the active, since it is our only basic. And then we're going to have to Ultra Ball here, get ourselves a Buzzwole, and we can attach that strong, which is good. And then we'll just need to discard our hand and draw 7 new cards. So let's Ultra Ball here. We're going to have to toss all of this anyway, so I don't think we've got enough here to get 2 Ultra Balls off. So let's get rid of the Acerola and the get rid of the Basic Fighting. Get ourselves a Buzzwole GX. Come on down, Mr. Buzzwole. Put Buzzwole on the bench. Put a strong onto him. And we can Sycamore. We can hope to hit ourselves a Float Stone for the next turn. And maybe a Fury Belt. So we do hit all of those. I am going to hold everything else for now, but we'll just bench 1 more Trubbish. We have pretty much what we need for the next turn. So as long as our opponent doesn't N us here, we've got a decent enough second turn. And let's see what our opponent does. Going Ultra Ball here, discarding a Guzma and a Fairy. Most likely going to get a Lele and Wonder Tag for Bridget. Yep, there comes a Tapu Lele. Lele hits the bench, Wonder Tag, and I would imagine we're going to get a Bridget here, getting out maybe 3 Ralts, or 2 Ralts and a Zoroark, or let's see what he goes for. Okay, he's actually got an Eevee, so he is playing Sylveon as well. It seems a lot playing Sylveon and Zoroark. It seems clunky, but let's see. Does he have a Float Stone? Parallel City. Alright, so we've got a Potown to bounce that. Wow, and we've got 3 Float Stones. So I'm not too worried here about locking down our abilities and stopping ourselves from playing Lele's. I think we're just going to go into top deck mode and start getting some early pressure on here. So let's put the Garbatoxin down, play down the Potown, and let's do that 30-30. We are going to take a knockout here with Jet Punch, and let's put the 30 onto the Sylveon, since that's where he's attached. So we go down to 5 prizes, and we get ourselves another Potown. So if he chooses to bump that stadium, we can put another one down and keep on swinging. DC to the active and an N. Alright, so is he going to go for the magical ribbon here, or is he going to actually attack us for that 110? A Curlier comes down on the bench, taking the 30 damage from the Potown, and he is just going to Fairy Wind for the 110 damage. So he's going to be 3-shotting us here because of the Fury Belt. I'm not sure I would have done the same thing. We're going to Sycamore and get rid of these 3 Guzmas, which is pretty unfortunate, but we do need to set up here. We have the Enhanced Hammer, so let's get rid of that double colorless. You don't need that. And I think I'm going to hold everything else for now and just go for a jet punch. Let's put 30 on that Ralts. So we've started spreading damage across the board. 60 to the active, 30 to the Ralts. You can do another 110 here, but if he doesn't have a field blower, we are going to survive. And if we do survive, I think we may just field blow our own Floatstone off and get ourselves an Acerola. Yeah. So he's going to do the Fairy Wind for 110. I think it's okay to let go of the lock here if it means saving our Buzzwole and keeping our opponent from taking those 2 prizes. So let's Field Blower, and we'll discard the Floatstone on our side and the Floatstone on our opponent's side of the field. And let's Acerola up that damaged Buzzwole. 1 to tag for the Acerola. Let's play that down. Pick up that Buzzwole. Bring up our Zygarde. We can attach that Strong and the Fury Belt. And we'll be doing 90 damage, putting that Sylveon at 180, which means we can ping it from the, even if it's on the bench, using our Buzzwole and take a knockout that way. Let's see if our opponent can get something going now that he's got abilities back. Gonna Super Rod, putting back the Zoroark and the Fairy Energy. Fairy to the bench and Bridget, so no supporter for my opponent. Just getting out another Ralts and a Zoroark. And is he gonna? He's gonna Fairy Wind here. But of course we can just sell Storm for the knockout and heal some of that damage off. I don't think I'm gonna bench this Espeon yet. I think we're gonna keep that for later. So let's get an energy on our Buzzwole. Do you want to put the Treasure Launch down? I think we're going to hang on to it. And we'll just sell Storm for the knockout. Healing that 30 damage off as well at the same time. Going down to 3 prizes. We get ourselves a Guzma and an Enhanced Hammer. So those are 2 good cards. Especially if he manages to get a Guardy up and running. We can E-Hammer off that double colorless. So he's going to evolve up into the Zoroark. Now has access to that trade ability and going to end us down to a hand size of 3. That's 3 pretty good cards to get off an N. We have the Choice Band, we have a Sycamore, and attached to the bench, so not looking good for my opponent. I imagine he's going to try and retreat. Yep, retreat into the Ralts. And we get a Fan Club, which we don't need. So let's put the Choice Band onto the Buzzwole. We don't need to bench another Trubbish here, so I think we can safely just Sycamore, discarding our hand and drawing 7 new cards. Let's reactivate that ability lock, and we can... Let's attach the bench. I don't want to over-attach to the active, putting us in range of a Guardy. So we'll heal another 30 damage from ourselves and knock out that poor little Ralts. So just 2 prizes away from the win. Let's see what our opponent can do here. They can Rare Candy up into the Guardy if they have it. Going to Sycamore, discarding their hand and drawing 7 new cards. I'm not sure why they didn't play the N and trade. It would have come out in the same number of cards, but would have disrupted us at the same time. Given that we only need 2 prizes to win, I think that was pretty risky on their part. How many items in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so item count is pretty high as well, and we do have access to the Trash Launch, but we are going to be just short because he got rid of the Potown. It's pretty unfortunate. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 160 with a choice band, 190. Just short, 10 damage short of the knockout with Trash Launch. So I think we can probably get Trash Launch into play now. Let's put the Potown down. Let's Ultra Ball, discarding the Garbodor Toxin Garb and the basic fighting. Getting ourselves that Trash Launch. Put that guy down on the bench. I think we probably can put that choice band on the active. I think getting that Guardian range of a bench snipe with a Buzzwole is more important. And we can play an Enya. I know we're refreshing my opponent's hand, but I don't think there's any real harm in getting some new cards into our own hand. I'm not going to play that Buzzwole down. I'm just going to Cellstorm, healing that 30 damage off, putting us down to 110. So 80 left. And my opponent is now at 140. So if he doesn't retreat that Guardy, we can take a knockout with either of our dudes on the bench. Floatstone to the active. As we see a retreat. Nope. Wow. An infinite force for the knockout, and that will be the game. I mean, we can either attack with Buzzwole, but let's just put the Garbodor Toxin up. And let's have a quick look here. So I think we can just retreat into the Trash Launch, and let's just finish with our late game attacker. Trash Launch for, I think, 180, 160. Cool, so that is the deck, and you'll see how the two attackers work together. Zygarde putting in some good work, Buzzwole with the early snipes, Potown. So all in all, I think, you know, you've seen how it works. I'm not going to play any more games. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and I'll be back with a few more Crimson Invasion deck profiles soon. Thanks everyone, cheers. A big shout out to our sponsors, the Battle Bunker and Ultimate Guard. Thanks for watching.